Hello, my wonderful Capricorn. Capricorn? Yeah, we're up to Capricorn. Welcome back to Vovo Drag Tarot. I, of course, am Joni Vovo, a drag performer based in Sydney, Australia, based in Sydney's inner west. And I was actually out tonight. I had a little gig. If you know Sydney, I was over at the Burdekin on Oxford Street for a little hyperpop party. It was a lot of fun. I did Venus by Gaga. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see the video, I'll post it at some point if you head on over to my Instagram. So I made it through the first month. I've only just started doing these readings on YouTube, so I thought, why not? I'll give it a go, see what happens. Got through May, did all the signs, yay! Now we're in June, and I've cycled back around to you, Capricorn. So, if Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising, this video is for you. Of course, this is a general reading for whoever might be watching on, so take what resonates, and if any part of the message or story doesn't fit, that's okay. It just means it's for another Capricorn watching on. I am using Rider-Waite. I always get it mixed up. Rider-Waite. Yeah, that's it. Rider-Waite deck, and I'll be using a Celtic cross. Just to look at your current situation, current challenge or area of growth you might be facing at the moment. We'll look at some advice, and a possible outcome. And also to say, you have free will, so while I do look at the future and a possible outcome, just know you can use your own heart, mind, and intuition to make your own choices for your life. So just take this as a chance to have a bit of clarity and insight about your situation. You may hear my cat yowling in the background. I have two cats. One's happily asleep on the bed, and the other one's just outside the door yowling. So we'll see if I have to get up and let her in mid-reading. All right, Capricorn. I'll just give it one more shuffle, then we'll get started. I look really good tonight. Yep, that's good. I was dressed a little bit more, in a bit more of a revealing number before, but I thought I'd make it a bit more G-rated for YouTube. Don't want to get banned or flagged just while I'm starting out. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. All right, Capricorn, you ready? So your current situation is... Ooh, okay, the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior card. So this is someone who is very battle weary. So they've faced a lot. They've given a lot of their time and energy. They've, they're very exhausted, but have the resolve to continue and go on. I mean, also to point out, the Nine of Wands is just before the Ten of Wands. And, even though people say the Ten of Wands can be a negative card, it's like carrying a really heavy burden. But, all the cards have good and positive, negative readings. The Ten of Wands, as well as being a heavy burden that's carried, it's also a great harvest that's been brought in. So as soon as that person puts the 10 Wands down, that's the harvest. So anyway, we're talking about the Nine of Wands here. It was inverted, so you might be in a place. Like I said, it's a card of perseverance, giving things one more go, one more attempt, knowing that the finish line is close, and even though you're exhausted, just putting in that, just drawing on what reserves you have to continue and get to the finish line. And it was inverted, which may mean that you're really doubting if you have the reserves to do that last push and to continue. So, yeah, you might just be feeling just exhausted, just tired, and feeling like you can't go on. Doesn't mean you've given up. I'm not sensing that. It just means you probably have a bit of doubt and apprehension about like this last leg that you need to do. All right, let's look at the immediate past. And we've got The Tower. Ooh, this is the third reading I've done today. The second time the Tower's come out. So the Tower is when there was something in your life that was a sense of stability, that you put your, perhaps you put your hope in it. It's, it could be any sort of thing. It could be a job, and then suddenly your job falls through. It could be a relationship, and suddenly the relationship goes south. Anything that kind of catches you off guard. It's a card of change. It's a card of things falling apart. It's a card of you reevaluating what you can count and rely on and trust in. So, we all do it. We define ourselves by these external things. So we define ourselves by, this is my job, this is my family, this is my home, and we find a lot of security in those ways that we define ourselves. And it can be very discombobulating when one of those things comes apart, and in a sense, a way that you identify gets challenged. And it's not just the external thing that ends or falls apart. It's also that part of you that you, that I guess helps you have some sort of internal structure or way of piecing yourself together. When that falls apart or comes apart, you kind of have to do a bit of rejigging of the inner world, as well as facing whatever the outer world is. So I was inverted and I was sitting in the past. So I'm going to say that you're on the other side of this Tower moment. You've already stood in the rubble. You've already asked the questions, what on earth just happened? You've already thought, okay, what am I going to do from here? How are we going to rebuild things? So yeah, you're definitely on the other side of this, sitting in the past. So let's look at what's coming up in the future. We've got, the Ace of Swords inverted. So aces have been pretty heavy in all these readings, lots of aces. So I don't know what it is. I guess I'm just gonna speak in broad brushstrokes. It seems that whatever's going on in the world at the moment, we're all about new beginnings and aces. So all the aces are about something external. So it might be something. I don't like using buzzwords in tarot readings, but I'm just going to say it might be the universe, like piping in and bringing in. Swords are all about knowledge, thought, communication, spoken word. So it might be that some new revelation, idea, or understanding is just going to come in out of the blue at the timing of the universe. I roll my eyes while I say that. But I mean, I just noticed, and it's quite interesting, that at the top of the card is a crown. And so that is all about your sovereignty, like your own sovereignty. I said at the start of the video that you do have free will. You have a heart and you have a mind to make your own choices about your own life. And so, it seems that whatever this realization is, it's going to give you a sense of self-empowerment and agency and sovereignty. That's pretty awesome. But just to go back to how the card came out, it was inverted, which can mean a few things. I'm getting the sense that it's either that there's going to be a delay or there's a block. Which, let's keep going with the reading and see if we get a bit more clarity about that. So your current cross energy, which is the challenge you might be facing, a roadblock. Speaking of blocks, it might be an area of growth. gaining of wisdom. So let's see what the cross energy is. Two of Swords. Okay, inverted. Interesting, just going to point out, so far everything has come in inverted. What does that mean? I guess it means, I'm just getting the impression that there's probably, everything feels a bit stuck at the moment. That it feels like there's lots of blocks, lots of roadblocks. Let's keep going. So Two of Swords is all about making decisions. And so, I'm just thinking if I'll say it or not. So you can see, well, a few things are going here on, are going on here in the card. So you can see in the background there's the moon. So the moon is all about things that might be hidden or that we don't see clearly. So in the, on the actual moon card, when you go, when you're lying in bed at night and, all the lights are off and there's moonlight coming in, you look around at your room and you see all sorts of things. Like, you might look at, your clothes hanging on the outside of the room, and in your mind, you end up seeing all sorts of strange things. You might see a creature, you might see a person, you might see faces. And so it's kind of to say the moon can be about illusion, but more not seeing things clearly. And also, this person's here blindfolded. Sorry, I'm banging on a bit about this, but this is just what I'm getting. And you can also see they're holding two swords. Often when we're in a place of making decisions, we might feel like our options are, do we go left or do we go right? Do I say yes or do I say no? So I feel like the challenge here is not just to see the immediate options and choices. So whatever this... Oh, sorry, there's a lot of information going on here. A lot of information. Okay, so we've come out of this tower moment. We're questioning if we can continue, if we have the strength to go on and the resolve to go on. We're waiting for an answer or some clarity about the situation. Perhaps whatever this situation was. Perhaps you don't know if you have the resolve to move on from this. Whatever this tower moment was that threw you out. And again, everything's upside down. So maybe you're a bit stuck in this situation still. I know I said at the start that because it was upside down in the past, that you've moved on, it's done. But the way this is all playing out, I feel like maybe this is where you're stuck. You don't know if you have the resolve to move on or out of this, and you're needing some sort of clarity or answer or insight about how to move on. And there's this decision, and at the moment you're not seeing things clearly. You can see that there's this path or this path, this choice or this choice. And perhaps you're aware that you maybe feel like there should be more options, but you can't see it. And you're waiting for this light bulb moment where you're like, what is the path? Okay, that was a lot. Oh, that was intense. Okay, I don't think I've ever had that sort of like bombardment of info all in one go, but that was awesome. Okay, so all right, let's continue. yeah, that hopefully that makes sense. As we keep going, we'll just see how it all ties together. So that was the challenge you're currently facing. So let's see what you're aware of about what you're aware of about this situation. What's sitting in your conscious mind? Knight of Wands. Okay, so the Knights are all about action. You know, you can see this person charging ahead on their horse. Interesting. So all the court cards, often they'll face a direction, left or right. This might not translate well on my phone camera in case it's recorded the video backwards, but in real life, the way I'm seeing it, the Knight of Wands is going to the left, which is back into the past. And Wands are all about manifesting, about going in, feeling a bit self-empowered, not in a bad way. You know, we all have power. We all use our power to manifest and create. It's great. So this Knight is rushing in, and I dare say rushing into the past to try and manifest something, trying to create something. And this is what you're aware of. So perhaps you're aware of this as an option. Perhaps whatever this Tower moment was, you feel like a choice is to rush back and maybe fix it or rebuild it. Okay. Well, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but often towers come down for a reason. And yeah, I'm not going to say anything more than that. So yeah, you're aware of that. A choice is to, you know, use your strength and might and inspiration and ability to create, an ability to manifest, to go back into that rubble and try and breathe new life into it. Okay. Wow, this is very deep. How are you doing? Is you all right? Okay, let's look at what you're not aware of, or what's sitting in your unconscious. Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, you can see this person here. They're pretty chuffed. They're looking at, they've got all the cups, well, they don't have 10 of cups, but they've got 9 of cups, all the cups behind them. And they're just so chuffed. Again, cards can have positive, negative, neutral readings. We could say this person's really proud of all the abundance in their life. Pride isn't a good or bad thing. He's very proud. He's also very grateful, very thankful, just very much full of, I guess, yeah, just, what am I trying to say? He recognized, oh, sorry, I don't mean to gender. They recognize all the abundance in their life, and they're in a place where there's like gratitude and pride and being thankful and seeing it all and realizing it all. So, sorry, that was very long-winded. It was upside down, so it may be that what you're not aware of is that there's a lot of abundance in your life that you're not seeing, that you're not appreciating. And I don't mean in a finger waggy way. I'm like, you're not appreciating what you have. I just mean, you know, your focus might be elsewhere. You might just not be giving yourself time to see what you have and what's around you. So this is what you're unaware of, that perhaps there is a lot of abundance in your life, and that's something that you can sit in and dwell in and, you know, allow to be a part of your being. I mean, like I said right back at the start, I don't know why I said it, I did. Towers aren't just about the external thing falling apart, it's also about the part of us that has to, not has to, there's no shoulds here, the part of us that kind of also falls away, that we need to rebuild and recreate. And it looks like here there's 9 cups. So as you're sort of rejigging and piecing yourself back together, you've got a lot to draw upon. Wow, this is a very specific reading. Yeah, please give me feedback. Like I said, I'm new to this. I would love to hear how this resonates with you in the comments below. Anyway, I'll stop dilly-dallying. Let's continue. Let's look at your advice about this situation. Oh, okay, that's cool. So strength, you can see this person here, they're basically a lion tamer. And when we think of strength, you know, it's not just this. So the lion is very much, let's just say, the wild part of you, the untamed part of you, the messy part of you, the dangerous part of you, the part of you that can be a bit scary, the part of you that you might be reluctant to face. And so true strength isn't just brawn, it's facing that lion, that part of yourself, and becoming friends with it. I know I said they're the lion tamer, but sorry, that's not, maybe not a bit helpful. So you're not going to that part of yourself being like, get in line, lion, but you know, I'm not quite sure what she's doing. Let's just say she's patting it on the head and scratching its chin. So, I'm gendering again, sorry. So they've become friends with the lion. That sounds really sappy, but I mean more, they're not afraid of that part of themselves, and they are very comfortable facing it. And the strength comes not just from facing it and integrating it, but allowing it to be a part of the whole. Not just something that's shunted to the side, not just something that you look at every now and then, but something that's integrated, and those things that were scary or dark or wild are actually these wonderful attributes that are a part of who you are. So, sitting in the advice and upside down, meaning perhaps you're avoiding this. Perhaps, like I said, those parts of you, perhaps they're a bit, oh, sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting a bit of an image. Perhaps there's all these, okay, sorry, to tie it all together. So again, thinking about this inner sense of self and the tower and all the parts of you sort of falling apart and there being that rubble. So it might be a matter of finding all those parts of yourself that have been scattered here and there. You know, it's, you know, right back at the start, I said it might be, you know, you lose your job and then you have to redefine what it means for you to be a professional career, whatever. But I get the sense that here it's like, it's kind of like all the parts of you got scattered and the rubble went everywhere. And it's kind of like, oh, you know, there's this part of me that I haven't looked at this or thought about this in a decade. And, you know, now that the tower's happened, I can see all the parts. And there's this part of me that I haven't thought about since I was a child. There's this part of me that was hidden and tucked away, and I didn't even know it was there. I forgot about that part of myself. So I feel like this like epic rebuilding is going on, and you're finding your strength again by putting all these pieces back together, and perhaps you didn't even know a bunch of those pieces were there. Perhaps you forgot about them. Perhaps they weren't visible, you couldn't see them. That's really awesome. I'm getting emotional. That's really cool. Anyway, that's the advice. Oh, the readings are deep tonight. Yeah, okay. Let's keep going. External factors. Ooh. Okay. Right. So you're waiting. Oh, okay. A lot of information. You're waiting for this epiphany to come in. All right. This is really cool. I'm really happy with this. So I feel like this epiphany is going to be here in all the rubble and all the bits and pieces that you're bringing and putting back together. You're going to find something that you didn't know was there, and this energy where you're like, I don't know if I can go on. I don't know how to go on. I don't know how to continue. You're going to find it when you go within. And external factors, rather than, okay, so the Four of Cups, this person, the universe is coming in with a cup. And this person's like, I don't know. I've got these 3 cups. I don't know if I need this 4th cup. So the way I'm reading this is, I think you're at a place right now where you're not looking outward. Like that. And again, this tower might have started as something external, but ended up being something very internal. And so whatever it was, lost a job, relationship ended, car broke down. You're not, there might be things coming in like, oh, here's a new job. Here's a new person to date. Here's a new car. And you're like, oh, actually, that's not my focus at the moment. I don't need these external things. No. That's not the work I'm doing right now. It's this. Yeah, I love tarot. This is great. Okay. Let's look at the final outcome. So we've got, yes, very much that. That's awesome. Okay. So let's go on the full journey. So there was all this rubble, all the parts of you that perhaps you thought you had a solid sense of self, and then something completely discombobulated it. And then it's putting you in a place where you have to look at all these parts of yourself, and maybe you didn't know all the bits and pieces that were there. Some of them scary, some of them like maybe the edges are jagged and you don't know how to piece it back together. But even though it might be difficult and take a lot of work, let me get the right card, you're going to do it. So temperance is all about, it's like a card of alchemy. It's that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 equals, exponentially more. And so by finding all these bits and pieces and bring it all back together, you are like going to fuse it all together and create something that was bigger and better than the tower you had before. And look here in the background. I don't know why I mentioned this, but I did. I pointed out the crown, that whatever this epiphany is that comes in is going to lead you back to your sovereignty. And look at this crown in the background here. The path to the crown is through doing this work to put everything back together and integrate everything and look at all the pieces and make something bigger and better than the sum of the parts, and bigger and better than what was there before. Oh, that's awesome. I really hope that resonated. That was a pretty cool reading. Oh, all right, Capricorn. Oh, I'm just going to have a quick sneaky peek at the bottom of the deck. It's kind of like just, lifting the curtain and seeing what's going on behind the scenes. Yes. Remembering you're a divine being and are here for a reason, and you're not just, you're not just a meat sack schlepping through the world. There's wonderful divine things going on. All right. Okay, so you know, we had that position where you're in the Two of Swords thinking, do I go left, do I go right? Well, it looks like, you know, you're going to, maybe after you do this rebuilding, you're going to go back to thinking, all right, do I stay or do I go left or do I go right or something else? But you're going to be fully in a throne of self-empowerment. You know, you're going to, through doing the work, look at disappointment, but also look at, you know, where there is abundance, where there is blessing in life. And it is going to lead back to, you know, victory, whatever that might look like for you in your life, according to your star and divine purpose, you know. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Please leave comments below how that resonated with you. Please hit subscribe, hit like. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye, my Capricorns. Bye.